in Hindi. Okay, so that's the first thing we'll be doing in the class. The second thing we'll be doing is we'll be learning about some new grammatical concept. So we'll learn about how to use koi, and we'll be learning about koi and kuch in Hindi. And for those of you who want to follow along from the book, you can look at page number 88 in the book. So we'll be covering that. So this one will dig deeper. We'll learn and practice different concepts within that, and then we'll practice Hindi reading. So there's a paragraph in the book. It's the 7B paragraph. It's a pretty good one, right? So I think it'll be good for who works where, 7B. So it's on page number 91. Okay, and so I'm noticing that we need, as the number of students are growing, we need more time to practice. So we'll create breakout rooms. So all of you, like 2 people, can pair with each other and practice reading the paragraph. Okay. Throughout the class, feel free to ask any questions you may have. The idea is to make it more and more engaging, so you guys can learn as much as possible. Okay. So with that in mind, I want to start and encourage all of you to talk about your childhood, and so each of you will have about 30 seconds. So keep it short, but also make it fun. Okay. And so we'll start with Irka. You want to go first? You want to talk about your childhood?
या मैं सकता हूँ.
Okay.
Okay. मेरा बचपन में मैं प्राग में रहता था. मेरे माता पिता के साथ और मेरे भाइयों के साथ. मैं स्कूल जाता था और मेरा स्कूल में मेरे पास बहुत मित्र था. इसलिए मेरे मित्र के साथ बहुत खेलता था, और मैं फुटबॉल नापसंद था, इसलिए मैं फुटबॉल नहीं खेलता था, लेकिन टेनिस खेलता था.
Awesome. This is great. Let's see. Sindhu, you want to go next? Up to you. If you want to take a break, that's fine too. But your opportunity. Okay, so.
हाँ जी, मैं शुरू करूँगी.
बोलो.
So, मैं मेरे बड़े भाई के साथ भारत में तमिलनाडु में पले बड़ी, और मेरे पापा भारतीय सेना में एक दंत चिकित्सक के रूप में काम करते थे, और मेरी माँ एक हॉस्पिटल में नर्स काम करती थी, और नर्स काम करती थी. हम सब हॉस्पिटल एम्प्लॉइज के लिए दिए गए एक क्वार्टर्स में रहते थे. मैं बचपन से बहुत ब्रेव थी, क्योंकि मैं सारे पेड़ के ऊपर चढ़ती थी और फल लेकर खाती थी, और मैं बहुत सारी गेम्स खेलती थी, जैसे कि मैं बास्केटबॉल खेलना और थ्रो बॉल खेलना और पतंग उड़ाना वगैरह वगैरह खेलती थी. एंड और बस.
Okay, this is great.
अपॉर्चुनिटी देने के लिए सबको धन्यवाद.
Thank you. Awesome. Navras, you want to go next? And anyone, if you don't want to go, if you want to skip, that's completely fine. As you know, there is no pressure per se. So I'm gonna.
Namaskar.
Yeah.
Can I repeat the same thing I wrote in YouTube?
That's completely fine. That is completely fine. You can totally repeat that. And that's the whole point.
मैं वहाँ शहर में रहती थी. मैं किताबें पढ़ती थी. मैं बहुत कम खेलती थी. मैं नहीं नाचती थी. मैं बहुत सोचती थी.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we'll have so after that we'll have let's see. Tessa ji, you want to go next? You want to talk about your childhood in Hindi?
Yeah, sure. I missed the last class and only got halfway through, so I'm fairly unprepared, but I do have a little bit about the child.
If you need time, that's completely fine. Okay. The idea is to. So while you're getting ready, maybe Vedant, you want to go next?
Yeah, about 2 minutes.
तो जब मैं छोटा था मैं न्यूयॉर्क शहर रहता था और मैं मेरे अपने घर में पीछे में मैं एक छोटा बगीचा था और मैं और मेरे दोस्त सॉकर खेलता था
Soccer खेलते
और जी और कभी-कभी हम बीच जाता था
Okay, awesome. Navneet?
मेरा बचपन से मैं इंडिया रहता था। मेरा बचपन से मैं बहुत एनर्जेटिक था। मैं बहुत सोचती थी। मैं छोटा था एंड मेरा बचपन से मैं फुटबॉल खेलता था।
Awesome. 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 Tessa ji, now is a good time now.
Yeah. मेरे बचपन में weekends को मेरी पिता मिलते थे। पिता के साथ मैं पिता के साथ हम सभी खाना खाते थे, कार्टून देखते थे, family time करते थे
Awesome.
और मेरा बगीचा मैं बगीचे में खेलती थी।
Okay.
कभी-कभी मैं आराम करती थी। I'm not sure what else to say.
No, this is good. This is great. I'm really...
I read a lot.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Awesome.
sorry.
No, this is great. So let's see, Than, you want to go next? I know you recently joined, so if you need more time, that's completely fine. I mean, you want to make sure you're comfortable.
Sir, sorry, I am very late in this class.
Okay, no worries.
Yes.
Dhanraj, you want to go next? And you also just started, so if you want more time, you can come back. Okay, maybe Taraji, you want to go next? You can unmute yourself and tell us about your childhood.
बचपन में मैं बहुत खेलती थी, टेलीविजन से कार्टून देखती थी, साइकिल चलाती थी, हर हफ्ता शनिवार से गुरुवार तक स्कूल जाती थी, परिवार के साथ दादाजी से मिलती थी, हम रिश्तेदारों के साथ पहाड़ों और प्रकृति में घूमते थे, मैं अंतर से लगती थी और मैं काला रंग बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं करती थी, लेकिन अब मैं उस काला रंग पसंद नहीं करती हूँ कि वो उदासी की निशानी है।
Awesome, great. Kevin ji, you want to go next?
Oh, okay. I'm always bad with cameras, but
Feel comfortable. Don't worry. Just feel comfortable. Start with simple sentences. There's no pressure. There's no exam, right?
right.
So don't take pressure that
जब मैं जवान था मैं बहुत सारे वीडियो गेम्स खेलते थे और let's see what else. I always forget how to say play an instrument.
Bajana.
Yeah. मैंने stand up bass बजा रहा हूँ और मैं एक और पंच संगीत पाता था.
Awesome.
Oh,
आप बचपन में कहाँ रहते थे? आप बचपन में कौन सी सिटी में रहते थे?
बचपन में बचपन में मैं ब्रैम्पटन से रहते थे
Okay.
और अतुपको से रहते थे.
Okay, nice, nice.
रसल पीटर्स जैसे रहते थे.
Okay, रसल पीटर भी उसी शहर से है?
हाँ.
Okay, nice, great. I didn't know that. Awesome.
Hello, sir.
Everybody did get a chance, and if you want to try it, this is your opportunity. You know, feel free
Let me introduce myself.
Yep.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम तानाई है. मैं म्यांमार हूँ. मुझे हिंदी भाषा सीखना बहुत पसंद है, लेकिन थोड़ी थोड़ी बोल सकता है. अभी मुझे पंजाब स्टेट है. I am living in Punjab state.
Punjab state. Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Great.
आपसे मिलकर अच्छा लगा.
Okay, thank you. Well, thanks everyone. So I think this was sort of the recap of how to use past indefinite in Hindi and using your childhood. So you talk about your childhood and you practice the past indefinite tense. Now, as I said, we will get into the grammatical aspects of it. So I'll be doing a lot of talking, and you will be doing some listening and practicing. Okay. So as I said, we'll be working on two grammatical concepts: how to use koi and how to use kuch. Okay, and Rupert Snell, he does a good job of explaining these two concepts. Okay, I'll be giving more paragraphs and more sentences on how to use it. But essentially, these are the two important keywords, and the distinction between both of them are, whenever you are talking about like the human beings, it's used in the context of human beings. Okay, koi and kuch is, both of them, it means some. And kuch is used in the case of inanimate objects which in the sense they do not have a life, like box or khana, something like that, right? So example would be koi ladka. Ladka is a human being, it has a life, so koi ladka, some boy, or koi ladki. Okay, similarly kuch. Okay, kuch boxes, some boxes, kuch samosa. Okay, or kuch another example that comes to my mind is like that Rupert there also gave is kuch look into it, kuch kitabein, some books. Okay, so now what we'll do is so these are very high level examples. Now we'll go into the different scenarios because both of them can be used as pronouns as well as adjectives. So to give like a broader definition which works in all scenarios, it will only work better if I go through each cases. Okay, so first we'll start with how to use koi and kuch as pronouns. So case number 1 here is when they are used as pronouns. Okay, and the first one, as I said, is koi and kuch. Another example before I, actually let's just write it down so it'll be much easier for you. Okay, so what if they're used as pronouns? First one is, koi hai. Koi hai. Okay, so let's say, wahan koi hai or wahan kuch hai. These are the two simple sentences. Okay, and let me ask one of you, Taraji, what do you think it means? Wahan koi hai versus wahan kuch hai.
Wahan koi hai means there is somebody.
There is somebody.
And wahan kuch hai.
There is someone or somebody. And what about this? Wahan kuch hai is?
Something.
There is something. there is something. So you can see the difference between both of them is, someone versus something. Okay, which is what I was trying to highlight. Like, someone is like a living object. Okay, it could be animal also. Okay, there is someone. Something is like, an object. Okay, it may not necessarily be a living object. There is something. Okay, so imagine like a haunted movie. Okay, they use it, especially I've seen it, like, and I'm just trying to, give it an example. But like, say you watch a horror movie and somebody hear a screaming sound or a noise. Okay, immediately they'll say, oh, there is, waha koi hai. Okay, koi hai, there is like someone or somebody. Okay, something is like, in a similar concept, but there is like, there is an, object, there is something. Okay, the same thing can be said in the negative scenario as well, but we'll cover it just after that. Okay, so wahan koi hai versus wahan kuch hai. There is someone versus there is something. Okay, another example would be yahan koi, or let's say I'm going to just keep it simple, and that is koi aa raha hai. Koi aa raha hai. Okay, koi aa raha hai. Okay, Navraj ji, what do you think it means? Koi aa raha hai.
Someone is coming.
Okay, how did you figure it out if you were to break it down?
Koi means some,
Okay,
and it's for human beings, so it could be someone. And
okay,
araha means is coming.
okay. What is the verb here?
Ana,
Ana is the verb, and which tense is being used here?
present continuous.
Present continuous. Okay, right. So that's why ana becomes aa raha hai. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about like, let me write another example. Kuch khaoge. Kuch khaoge. So this one, let me ask, let's see who is there in the, which I have not asked, who hasn't had a chance yet. You want to go next, Sindhu ji? Kuch khaoge? What do you?
Kuch khaoge means eat something.
Okay. What is the verb here?
So the verb is to eat, kha,
Khana.
khana. So they are saying khaoge. Will you? I mean, if you put a question mark, we can say kuch khaoge. So will you eat something? It'll become in the future tense there.
Awesome, right? So that's exactly what I was looking for. For future, khana becomes, khaoge, khaunga, khaungi, right? So if I say like main apple khaunga, that means I will eat an apple. Okay, and as you said, like if you're asking someone, kuch khaoge, that means like will you eat something? Okay, a guest is coming to your house. You can you can ask them like kuch khaoge. So will you eat something? And then
Ab kuch khaoge?
आप कुछ खाओगे, right? Awesome. So that's an example of how to use kuch. Okay, now I'm going to take a pause here and I'm going to ask you guys, can you think of an example for both koi and kuch? And it's okay to make mistakes. Here is the time where we're learning, at least as far as the book is concerned, for the first time. So I'm going to ask you who are feeling comfortable to share it now, and if you're not feeling comfortable, you can write it on the chat as well. Okay, so take your time and think about it. How will you use koi and kuch? And I'm going to ask each of you to share your thoughts. Vedant, you want to go next?
Yeah. So you want just one, or you want one for each one?
Up to you. I'm okay with either way. I want to make sure that
So
I want to make sure आप कुछ बोलो.
ठीक है, तो शायद ये इलाका में कुछ इटालियन दुकान है.
Okay, कुछ दुकानें.
Like restaurant.
Okay, कुछ. Okay. So you said इस इलाके में means in this area there are some restaurants. यहाँ कुछ restaurants हैं. Okay, so I think the simple way would be यहाँ, for everyone else to understand, यहाँ कुछ restaurants हैं. There are some restaurants here. Awesome. You have more?
Yeah. So for koi, perhaps आप आपके दफ्तर में कोई I don't know, secretary है,
Okay. कोई
employee है,
okay. आपके ऑफिस में, in your office, which is आपके ऑफिस में, in your office, कितने, I'm going to change it, okay? कितने
yeah, thank you. I was struggling to make it a good one.
कितने employees हैं? So I think you can say कोई, because the idea was sorry. So कोई employees हैं?
क्योंकि अभी बहुत सारे लोग घर रहते हैं.
Oh, I see. Okay. In that context, you can definitely, yes. आपके employees में अभी कोई या आपके ऑफिस में अभी कोई employees हैं? Awesome. Awesome. Let's see. Anyone else? Yirka, you want to give it a try?
Yes, I have a question. ये कोई इंसान है?
Okay. यह कोई इंसान है. Okay.
और and the second example I have is मुझे कुछ खाना चाहिए.
मुझे कुछ खाना चाहिए.
I want some food.
Awesome. Great. मुझे कुछ खाना चाहिए. I want some food. इंसान is human being. Okay. That's the generic word for human being. आदमी और इंसान. Like,
Can I say my example?
Yeah, go for it.
It can be a bit long, but I try to use both of them. Like, जब कोई हमारे घर आ रहे थे, तब वे मेरे के लिए कुछ किताबें खरीदते थे.
मेरे लिए. Okay. जब हमारे घर
मेरे लिए. Okay.
Yeah. Say it again, Jamil. The great example.
Yeah. जब कोई हमारे घर आ रहे थे, तब वे मेरे लिए कुछ किताबें खरीदते थे.
Okay, awesome. It's a long example, but great.
But I try to use both of them in a sentence, that's why.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Okay.
Let's see. Tessa ji, you want to go next?
Can I try?
Yeah.
Can I try? Okay.
Actually, right after Tessa ji, and then after.
अगर कोई कुछ कहते हैं, मैं सुनूंगा.
Okay, मैं सुनूंगी. If somebody is saying something, wow. So you get both of them together. अगर कोई कुछ बोलेगा, तो मैं सुनूंगी. If someone is saying something, I will listen. Awesome. Well, that was creative. Yeah. Now I think Than, was it you? You were saying something.
Yeah. कोई पाठशाला जा रहा है.
Okay. And what does it mean?
Is anyone going to school?
Is anyone going to school? Okay, so you're asking as a question. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's see who hasn't had a chance. Now I'm losing the track. So you have to take initiative and come forward and say that I didn't get a chance. I want to talk next.
Could I try?
Yeah, go for it, Sidhu.
कोई दरवाजा को खटखटा रहा है.
कोई, so this is a haunted one. Okay, कोई दरवाजा
को खटखटा रहा है.
I'm gonna keep it simple because खटखटाना maybe it's not easier for everyone. So कोई दरवाजा knock कर
रहा है.
Okay. What does it mean?
So someone is knocking at the door.
Okay, so knock karna is to kind of like knock the door. So कोई दरवाजा खटखटा रहा है. And in Hindi.
And मैं कुछ नहीं देखा.
Okay. खटखटाना. Okay, so खटखटाना. Okay. And the second one is like you said मैंने.
मैं कुछ नहीं देखा.
You said मैंने.
Oh, मैंने. Yeah, okay, yeah. मैंने कुछ नहीं देखा. Yes.
Can someone think? I know we are going ahead of ourselves, but do you know why we are using?
So it is in the past tense, मैंने. So
okay.
मैंने कुछ नहीं देखा. So I did not see anything.
Awesome. I did not see anything.
And देखा is to see. So when it is actually a transitive verb, so in the past tense we use ne for it.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
This is great. Anyone else? Kevin ji?
Antit men.
Okay.
अंतित में कुछ फिल्में का बॉलीवुड देखता.
Okay, मैं कुछ बॉलीवुड मूवीज देखता हूँ. You can say that.
देखता हूँ. हाँ.
Okay, awesome. This is great. Okay, so now we'll jump to the case 2. In case if you haven't had a chance, don't worry about it. We have multiple cases of how to use koi and kuch. So far, we were using it in a very simple manner. The next scenario that Rupert Nell talks about is that using them in the negative cases. Okay, and some of you already use that, but I'm going to just like rewrite it. So negative. Okay, so just like we did, like wahan koi hai, you can simply say wahan koi nahi hai. Koi nahi hai. There is no one. Okay, wahan koi nahi hai. Okay. If you're completely new, start with very simple. वहाँ table है, okay? वहाँ desk है, वहाँ book है, okay? That's a simple example. Like there is, or there, there is a book, or there is a chair, okay? That hopefully all of you that part can grasp, even if you're completely beginner, right? वहाँ is there, is कोई नहीं, no one. Okay, and that's how Hindi is. Like, unlike English, English is like basically your SVO. You have like, subject, verb, object. In Hindi is like, SOV. मैं कुछ खा रहा हूँ or मैं apple खा रहा हूँ, right? I mean, so you have subject, object, and then verb. So that's like a main distinction between Hindi and English, right? That's why you see like, in Hindi, like वहाँ कोई नहीं है. In Hindi, verb is coming at in the end, okay? So वहाँ कोई नहीं है, there is no one. Okay. Similarly, वहाँ कुछ नहीं है. वहाँ कुछ नहीं है. There is nothing. Okay, there is nothing. It is also used in a very casual sense, like, let's say your friends are visiting to a place you've been to, okay, and they're very excited about it. Like, oh, I'm going to visit this city or this amusement thing, and they're like, okay, वहाँ क्यों जा रहे हो? वहाँ कुछ नहीं है. There is nothing. I mean, they're maybe giving you a realistic picture, and maybe they didn't like it, so they're like, वहाँ कुछ नहीं है. Okay, there's nothing, which doesn't mean that there is nothing in that context, like, but what they're trying to imply is like, there may not be as many exciting things as you are expecting. Okay.
So could I have a question regarding kuch?
Yeah, go for it.
One of the first things I've learned was that kuch means some and kuch means something.
That is true.
But here we use kuch as a pronoun. But I thought that kuch alone should mean just adjective. So
we will be covering that in the upcoming scenarios. What Rupert Snell started with the book, I'm just going with the same flow. So first we learn it as a pronoun, and as we kind of make progress, we will use it as an adjective as well. But you are absolutely right. So here we are using it as like no one and nothing. So this is basically, he considered like no one. It is referring to a person basically. So that's why he's calling it like a pronoun. Yeah. Good question. Anyone else? Okay, perfect. So we'll keep, we'll keep making progress. Okay. I'm going to give one more example here, and I'm going to keep,
Namaste Ji.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm very new and I was very late to attend your class today. Just out of the question, I'd like to continue with the classes going forward. But I would like to know how much time you usually spend on one class.
How much time I spend on one class? It's typically 1 hour.
1 hour, okay.
But you don't have to stay throughout the class. You can always watch the recording.
No, it's just to have a general knowledge. Thank you so much. Continue.
Yeah, no. So next example I have is like wahan. Okay. So let's say, I want to give you a quiz here, like that no one talks to me there. So let's say you have to translate this one, no one talks to me there. Like, your parents, let's say you are your parents are insisting you to go somewhere, okay? A place that you find quite boring because no one talks to you there and you don't find it like, so you want to say something like this. How will you say that in Hindi? Okay, that's your first quiz, call it quiz. Okay, and the next one is like, I'm going to come up with the next one, but take your time and at least translate this one. Okay, no one talks to me there. And the next one is, I think I already converted that one. There's nothing going on there. Okay. Why don't we try with this first, and then no one talks to me there. So I think you guys know how to say no one. This also you probably figured out the tense. It's present indefinite tense. To me and there. Okay, so whoever is gonna attempt it, try to break it down. It's a very good one. Who wants to try it out? You can write it down as well. Go for it.
वहाँ पर कोई नहीं बात करते हैं.
Okay, so tell me each of them. How will you?
So yeah.
Yeah.
So over there is वहाँ पर or वहाँ.
वहाँ.
And no one is कोई नहीं.
कोई नहीं.
Talk is बात.
To talk is बोलना. Okay,
बोलना.
so yeah, to talk. I'm gonna just बोलना.
And then to me is I'm not sure, but I think it's me को.
Which is?
Like to me.
I is मैं.
Yeah.
And plus को. And what does it mean? मैं को is
मुझे.
Okay.
मुझको.
Would it be मुझको, or would it be So this is an interesting scenario. It will not be no one talks to me there. It's not going to be को here, but
मुझसे.
very close. Which one?
मुझसे.
Very good. मुझसे. मुझसे. Okay, so now assemble it together. How will you say everything together?
वहाँ मुझे no वहाँ कोई नहीं मुझे बोलना.
Okay. What about this one? I call it like बात करना. As opposed to बोलना, if I were to change it to बात करना. Now say it again. Assemble it together.
वहाँ कोई नहीं मुझे बात करना है.
Okay, awesome. So only thing you're missing here is this is verb is infinitive form, like to talk.
Right.
You have to say it in present indefinite tense.
Is that like वहाँ कोई नहीं मुझे बात करते हैं?
Very good. वहाँ मुझसे कोई बात नहीं करता है. Okay. So that's exactly what it is, and I'm going to just assemble it together. That's what you said. So वहाँ मुझसे कोई बात
नहीं करते हैं.
Very good. नहीं करता है, करती है और करते हैं. Okay, however you want to say it. One thing that you want to see is कोई नहीं can be split into two different words. And that was the point of this exercise that Rupert Snell was also trying to highlight in the book. A lot of time we use कोई नहीं together. कोई नहीं आ रहा है. कोई नहीं बोलेगा. Like no one will talk. Okay, कोई नहीं खाना खाएगा. Okay, till our guests are done eating. Okay, कोई नहीं हिलेगा. No one will move. Right. I mean, in the Indian Bollywood movies, especially in the end when the villain is coming, they'll just come with some weapons and they'll say koi nahi hilega. That means no one will move. Okay, but in this case, they're not used together. Koi baat nahi karta hai. Okay, koi nahi bolega instead of koi bolega nahi. Okay, so wahan mujhse koi baat nahi karta hai. Okay, I hope this makes sense. I hope it is also complicated enough, which even for some of the intermediate and advanced learners, so they can also learn something on this one. Okay. Questions, comments, anyone? Before we move on.
Doesn't koi baat nahi also mean like no worries?
Koi baat nahi, that's right. Koi baat nahi is no worries.
Dhanyawad.
Yeah. So koi baat nahi. Koi baat nahi is no problem or no worries. Or no worries. That's right. Anyone else?
Hello, sir. कोई बात नहीं and कुछ नहीं is the same or different?
What do you think? कुछ नहीं.
कुछ नहीं, yes.
What do you think?
We need.
Huh?
The same meaning or no? I don't know, sir.
Yeah, I know the question, but okay, let's see who wants to answer that. Anyone? Yirka, what do you think?
What is the question again?
The question is, koi baat nahi is like, when somebody did something and you said thank you and they say koi baat nahi, no problem, right? But the question is, can I use them interchangeably? Can I say koi baat nahi and kuch nahi?
When you say koi baat nahi, it means like saying no problem. But
Yeah.
when you say kuch nahi, it means nothing. So
Okay.
I think it's not good to interchange them.
Okay, but if I were to kind of read between the line, what he's trying to say is like Indians, like native speakers, even sometimes casually can say kuch nahi. Ye to kuch nahi tha. That means I didn't do much. So even though grammatically you are absolutely right, Sindhu, that there are two different concepts altogether. And even I would say koi baat nahi in my day-to-day language, like koi baat nahi. Okay, but generally when they're saying kuch nahi, as a replacement of koi baat nahi, it implies basically I didn't do much. I didn't do anything for you. So it's all good. Okay. So in that context, if it is said, then it is right. Otherwise, like, as Sindhu ji said, these are two different concepts. Koi nahi is like no one and kuch nahi is nothing. Okay. Let's keep making progress. If there are no questions, the next one is I have is like if it is used as an adjective. Case number 3. If koi and kuch is used as an adjective. Okay. So you have koi again and kuch. And you have a case number 3 where you are used as an adjective. I'm going to use a different pen. Can you guys think of some of the example of adjectives here? How will you use koi and kuch as an adjective? Some specific. Okay. So yeah, go for it.
Yep. May Hindi kuch pusata hai. That would be for kuch.
Okay. Okay. What else? Anyone else? Say it again, Taraji. I couldn't hear you.
कोई अच्छा लड़का.
कोई अच्छा लड़का. Okay. कोई अच्छा लड़का. Okay. What about कोई okay, कोई लड़का, कोई लड़की. Okay.
कोई 5 भाषाएं from the lesson last week.
Okay. कोई 5 भाषाएं. Anyone else? So here, what it means is like, if you're talking about something specific, a certain one, okay? So the example that is being given by Rupert Snell is like koi ladka. That means you're talking about a specific boy or a specific girl, okay? Similarly, like, koi 5 bhashaएं. That means they know some 5 languages, some specific 5 languages, okay? So that is being given by Rupert Snell, okay? Koi car. That's also like some car. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can write it here. Koi car or koi gaadi or kai gaadiyan. Koi car. I'm going to just write down gaadi. Koi gaadi. Okay. Anyone else?
I'm quite lost. I don't understand the difference between. For me, it seems the same as we did before. Like, what is the difference between adjective and pronoun?
So I mean, traditionally when we learn about like adjectives, you're talking about the qualities like acha. Okay, acha ladka, achhi ladki, bada, chota, thinner versus like flat. Those were the type of adjectives we learn, or even the color about certain things. In this case, it's kind of weird. Like I will not say koi ladka, but if I were to just like really follow the book here, he's really talking about a specific one. Okay. part of it will be clear as we go through the reading part of it. In the section 7b, who works here, as you read the paragraph, you will see that they're using koi, and in that context, like aapko aur koi cheez chahiye, yeah, they know like some koi 5 languages, like so that's how they're being used. But I could sense your that what does it mean, like it's not really making any sense, like when will I use koi 5 bhashaएं? Right now, sit tight, even if you don't really understand when I will be using it, right now, just like so the example that he'll give on page number 89 is like डब्बे में कोई अंग्रेज बैठा है और कोई अखबार फर्श पर पड़ा है. That means like some newspaper is on the floor. Okay. Will I be using it frequently? Not necessarily, but should I know it as a concept? Yes. Anyone else would like to add? Why is it like an adjective? Sindhuji, you want to share?
This is actually new to me. I mean, what I'm thinking is, why are they saying koi panch bhasha? Because language, as we discussed, koi is used with human beings, and kuch will be used with objects, right? So language is also not live, right? So that's what
That is true. That is true. So let's ask Navras, how did you get this idea? Let's ask her. Kuch पांच भाषाएं versus कोई पांच भाषाएं.
Yeah, that's what's confusing me.
I understood the concept as there is some certain thing there.
Yeah.
Like कोई किताब means मेज पर कोई किताब है. There is some book on the table.
Okay. So I think that's a good point as well, right? I mean, the point is like, in this case, it's being used as an adjective, right? And koi is like a certain book or a certain, specific book. I know this will probably not satisfy the curiosity that you have. I'll look into a little bit more about why in adjective sense, which is sort of like, a specific one, the rule has changed where we are not really using it as an animate or inanimate object. So even though it's not a live thing, it's said as like koi akhbar hai or koi kitab hai, and not kuch kitab hai. Kuch in that sense is some, mujhe kuch kitab chahiye. There's like you need some books. That means like or mujhe kuch सामान चाहिए और कुछ चीजें चाहिए. That's a totally different one. So when you're using in that context, that means you're really using it as a quantity. Okay. And here it is not really quantity. It is like a specific one.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do more examples. I think if it is still not clear. But for the pace, I have to keep going for case number 4. But we should definitely chat more on it with more examples on the WhatsApp group. Okay. So let's do. Okay. And if it is still bothering you, I would say there is one song as well, like Koi Ladka Hai. You probably know there's a movie called DDLJ. No, not DDLJ. It's forgot. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Okay, and there's a song like Koi Ladka Hai and Koi Ladki Hai. Right? It keeps going like that. I didn't want to use that example, but because you were asking. So if you look up just Koi Ladka Hai, Shah Rukh Khan, and then this song will come up. And it keeps on going in the loop. Basically, Koi Ladka Hai, when he sings, something happens. So maybe when you hear it, it will make more sense, like why they're using it as an adjective form, right? I mean, that there is a specific boy or there is a specific girl. Okay. And I can share that as well post class. So now let's do one more scenario, which is case number 4. How are we doing with time, by the way? Okay, we have time. So now we'll do case number 4, which is the oblique case of, koi and kuch. So what if there are some postposition after that? So koi is used with some postposition. Okay, it becomes, so think of it like koi plus ka or koi plus ke liye. So remember we learned about postposition. These are the keywords ka, ke liye, se, mein. They are all called postpositions or preposition in English, but postposition in Hindi. Okay. So koi plus ke liye would be, who would like to take a guess? It translates into, huh? Very good. किसी के लिए. किसी के लिए. Okay. Awesome. Okay, and koi plus se would be किसी से. कोई plus से would be किसी से. किसी से. And कोई plus का would be किसी का. Okay.
In Devanagari?
Yeah. किसी से.
Okay. Yeah.
किसी का. Awesome. Yeah. और किसी के लिए. Okay. Hopefully it's clear. So it's K. I'm going to write a shorter one. Okay. Sorry about that. किसी के लिए. Okay. And I'm gonna, maybe some of the examples will not make sense, but sit tight, as we practice more, it'll make more sense. So, मैं किसी से बात नहीं करूँगा, okay? और मैं किसी से बात नहीं करूँगी, okay? I will not speak with anyone, okay? I think we briefly covered in one of the example, okay? I will not do anyone's work. मैं किसी का काम नहीं करूँगा, okay? My boy, he keeps saying, I'm not going to do Reva's work, but in Hindi would be like, मैं रेवा का काम नहीं करूँगा और मैं किसी का काम नहीं करूँगा if you want to go extreme. That you don't want to do someone else's work, right? किसी के लिए, okay? For someone, okay? मैं किसी के लिए गिफ्ट नहीं लेके आऊँगा और मैं किसी के लिए, I mean that's a mean thing to say, but yeah, मैं किसी के लिए गिफ्ट नहीं खरीदूँगा. So if I want to really blackmail my kids, if I can say, if you don't do your work, if you don't do your things, मैं किसी के लिए कुछ नहीं लाऊंगा. Like I will not buy anything for anyone. Okay, किसी के लिए. So what I'm trying to say is like feel comfortable using, koi with, with postpositions. And the, postpositions are like, we have about like 7-8 postpositions we learned about. Okay. So let's see if I can give you some more examples here. Okay. I'll give some examples, but I do want you guys to also share some of the things that you can think of. Okay. I think I'm going to just write down some of the examples that I give. मैं किसी से बात नहीं करूँगा. So that's future indefinite. Or you can also say for present, वह, like he does not talk to anyone. वह किसी से बात नहीं करता है. Anyone else would like to give more examples? I think we can probably, in the grammatical concept for koi and kuch, we need some more time. So I'm going to just probably wrap up here in terms of cases, and then we'll do rest of the time for reading. But I want to see if you guys have any more examples for using koi with postposition.
I can try.
Yeah.
मैं किसी से झगड़ा नहीं करूंगी.
Awesome. मैं, and what does it mean?
I won't fight with anyone.
मैं किसी से लड़ाई नहीं करूंगी. Great example, right? मैं किसी से नहीं with, right? With anyone. Awesome. So this is case number 4. We still have like 4 more cases to go. So let's do this thing, okay? We have a reading exercise now, and what I'm realizing is like as our number of students are growing, I want to make sure everyone is getting the opportunity to practice. So we'll do like practice now, where we'll have two people play role play, Khanna ji and Prakash ji. But right after that, we'll do breakout room. So that's a feature on zoom.com, where it will randomly have two people basically talk to each other. So you will be going into separate rooms, and I'll make it like a small time period there. So you'll have like 30-40 seconds or about a minute to talk to each other in Hindi. And if you're completely new, don't worry, they will help you practice it. So hopefully, I mean, this part I don't have control. They'll randomly put you into separate rooms. So we have about 18 students right now. They'll randomly get paired into 9 groups. Okay. But before that, let's practice first. So I'm going to have some students role play. So we have Khanna ji and Prakash ji. So I'm going to have Khanna ji and Prakash ji. So Yirka, you want to have one? You Khanna ji or Prakash ji?
Yeah.
And don't worry, if I don't get a chance right now, don't worry. Just in a minute you will have the chance. Okay. So let's have Yirka as Khanna ji. We have Khanna, Yirka, and the other one is Prakash. We don't really have a Prakash like a student Prakash, but otherwise he could have played the role. But let's see. Sindhu, you want to do that? Okay. All right, all yours. In the interest of time, you guys have to just quickly do it. So slowly and louder. Okay.
Okay. Prakash, इन 7 कमरों में कौन-कौन काम करता है?
सर, पहले और दूसरे कमरों में दफ्तर के बड़े बाबू काम करता है. So in the first and second and other दूसरा means other rooms, दफ्तर के बड़े बाबू. So daftar is a guy, I'm assuming. Ke bade babu means his elder brother works there.
No, daftar in this case is the office.
Oh, okay.
Office, yeah.
Ke bade babu, okay.
और ये तीसरा कमरा किसका है?
अभी तीसरे और चौथे कमरों में कोई नहीं है सर.
तो आपका कमरा कौन सा है? पांचवा, छठा?
अभी मैं छोटू के कमरे में काम करता हूँ. मन में सोचता मुझे अलग कमरा चाहिए.
तीसरा कमरा खाली है, उसे लेना. आपको और कोई चीज चाहिए?
जी सर, उस कमरे में नया पंखा चाहिए. बहुत जरूरी है, पुराना पंखा काम नहीं करता.
गर्मी का मौसम मार्च से पहले नहीं शुरू होता. पंखा बाद में लेना.
जी सर.
Awesome. This is great. So let's do one more. So let's do Khanna ji, Tara ji, you can role play, and Prakash, Navras, you'll role play. And after that, we'll do breakout room. So that way